In this session, we are going to observe one more interesting area in Spring, that is Spring Bean life cycle. So far, what we observed is Spring creates objects of few classes and keeps in the Spring container, which are called Spring Beans. But Spring is not only creating the objects, but also responsible for maintaining and managing the life cycle of those Spring Beans. What is this managing life cycle? That we will see in one demonstration. Please observe. This project we developed earlier to understand the scope of the Spring Beans. Here, let us open the bean, Spring Bean class, that is demo. Here, just it is a simple component where we have a simple log. Okay. Fine. Now we'll go to the application. Here, this application we wrote to understand about the scope of the Spring Beans. Let us comment out everything from here. Instead of deleting, I am commenting out everything. Okay. Now here, simple application context instantiation and taking the bean, and let us display the log. So let us take the previous line. If necessary, we can have the log object also. Anyways, log object already created above the main, so that straight away you can use wherever you want. Here, what will happen if I execute this project? A simple object created, that is here demo, this constructor executed. So constructor, please observe here, I am not calling the constructor, just I am getting the context, I am instantiating the context. As a result of context instantiation, what will happen? All Spring Beans are instantiated by Spring Framework and kept in the application context, that is the container. I will show you the output. Demo instantiated, that is here the constructor called. Okay. Now let me define public void method1. Here log.info inside of method1. Now public void method2. This is log.info inside of method2. Here the method names can be anything, but for easy understanding sake, I have used method1 and method2 names. Now here I want to make this method2 execute as soon as object created, and this method I want to execute just before object destroyed. Object will be destroyed by anyways Java runtime environment, but I want this method to execute before destroying the object, the demo object. Okay, how can I configure that? For that, we need to go to the XML file where we have configured all the Spring Beans details. Here we need to add one more attribute of bean, that is init method. The attribute is init method. Init method, what should be the init method? Out of method1, method2, what should be the init method? I want the method1 to execute after initialization. Okay, now after this configuration, let us execute the project. Inside the method1, after object creation, I am not calling any method1 or method2. Automatically Spring Framework is calling that method. Okay, now in the continuation, we'll define one more thing, that is destroy method. This destroy method meaning is which method is to be called by the time of destroying the object, that is method2. After configuring this, once again let us execute the project. Method2 output we did not get. The reason is here instantiation or initialization will happen automatically, but destruction we need to configure something, that is register the application context with a JVM shutdown hook. We have to register the application context with JVM's shutdown hook. So in order to do that, we need to call a method context.register shutdown hook. Register shutdown hook, but At this point of time, this method is throwing error. The reason is application context don't know about this method. For that, we need to use another sub interface of application context, that is configurable application context. Configurable application context reference variable. If you took, you can call register shutdown hook as the registration of the application context with the JVM shutdown hook. Then automatically the destruction method also will be executed. Here, instead of inside method 1, inside method 2, if we give some meaningful, understandable and self-descriptive message, that would be more convenient. Now that kind of thing we'll do here inside of method 1. That is fine. Log.info object initialization has completed. Okay, here log.info object is about to destroy. Finish. That's all. Now see here, demo instantiated, the constructor called. This is inside the method 1 called, and then object initialization has completed. Then in between these two lines we do all our business. Say for example here, sysout business logic is executing here. Now you execute. Okay, see what is the output here. Demo instantiated inside the method 1, object initialization completed, then business logic completed. After business logic completion, control goes to the closing braces. Whenever control reach to the closing braces, what will happen? Application execution completed, JVM will shut down. By the time JVM shuts down, all the objects are destroyed. Before destroying, method 2 is executed. Hope this is clear. And this is one kind of a configuration for this Spring Bean life cycle. Okay, the alternative approach is annotation based configuration. Right now we saw XML based configuration. Now we'll try to upgrade this to annotation based configuration. In order to make this application switch from XML to annotation, not actually switching from XML to annotation, XML will be there anyways, along with XML annotation based configuration. We need to add something here in the Spring configuration, that is context. Is this only thing sufficient? No, that is not sufficient alone. Along with the context, we need to configure the schema location of the XML namespace, that is this. Okay, once after you configure this, the Spring framework in your application can understand about annotations. So here at colon angle bracket context colon annotation config switched on. Now context colon component scan base package. What is the base package? com.tutorial.beans package. That is the base package of the components. So far this is about the just bean is available, that information you are telling to the Spring framework. Bean is available in which location you told to the Spring framework. Now let us execute. We did not configure anything, simply application context instantiate. Simply we provided configuration to Spring framework. Now in this Spring framework, business logic executing here, only this portion, business logic executing here. Register shutdown hook, there is no impact of that. Actually I am expecting the constructor should be called, but the constructor has not even called. Let us check what has happened. Yes, this class should be annotated with @component. First annotation @component. As the result of this, Spring framework will call constructor of this object and creates an object and keep the object in the Spring container. Now let us observe the output. Yes, this time object created, means the constructor called and object created, and then business logic executed. But none of the other lifecycle hooks, lifecycle methods did not execute. Now, what we have to do? We have to again annotate which method is to be called when object instantiated and which method is to be called when the object is about to destroy. So, let us observe. At the rate post construct. Post construct annotated method is to be executed once after the object has created, and then this method is executed pre-destroy. Pre-destroy. That is all. These two annotations along with the component. Now you observe these two lines of output we got as soon as the object created, and then business logic executed, and finally the destruction logic is executing. Along with these two methods, we can define finalize method. That finalize method is to be called by the time of object destroyed by Java runtime environment, but there is no guarantee for destroying the object as soon as the program control reached to end of the program. So we cannot see the output of the finalize method as these methods outputs we saw very simply. So this is the way how Spring Framework maintains the life cycle of Spring Beans. Thank you for watching.